The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network and our fine family of broadcast affiliates across Canada, the United States, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, the Pacific Rim, 20 Asian countries, and now across Europe. Our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. My email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com. On MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradio.com. My guest this hour is, how would I describe him? He's a crusader. He is a white knight for justice. He has been there for those who could not stand for themselves. He has been a whistleblower. He is a fighter. And he is a courageous young man, and his name is Wayne Morin. Wayne and I first met a couple of years ago here on the show, and the story that he brought to us was one that we just could not believe. It was of sexual and physical abuse. It was of murder. It was of suicides. It was of the trafficking of narcotics and the selling of alcohol within the four walls of a state-run hospital, Napa State Hospital in Napa, California. And Wayne he's done everything to try and bring the perpetrators to justice. And he's joining me right now from California. Wayne Morin, how are you, my friend?
Well, Rob, it's really always a pleasure to be on your show, and it's always a gift to be able to be a voice to the people who are still incarcerated, to the families all over the United States and in Europe that are still being persecuted inside these monstrous dungeons that law enforcement seems to be immune from going inside these places. And it's just so wrong, especially if you have family members, if you have people that know about these atrocities, and there's really not much you can do except do what I was doing and what you've been doing. Bless you for doing that, and bless your listeners for listening to us continuously sound the alarm on what's going on in there, because the law enforcement, the Department of Justice, I mean, these people, I just don't want to speak bad about them, but they just don't seem to get it, you know. We come to them with crimes, and we come to them with paperwork, we come to them with lie detector tests, we come to them with family members that have attorneys that are suing for wrongful death, we come to them with staff members that worked at the place, we bring everything on a silver platter, and it seems to these people still continuously are still working there. And as you said many times, what has been the change since the last time you've been on the show, Wayne? Has there been anybody that's gone to jail? Has there been anybody that's that is being looked at closer now? And every time I come to you, I have one little notch more good to say, but at the same time, nothing new has changed. Nothing new, no attempts to incarcerate or bring these people to into the court systems, it seems like, even with the Department of Justice. And as you know, and I know through the years that we've talked and went through Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and through the whole 9 yards, when we started out together, I mean, we've done everything in our powers to continuously try to expose these monsters. And that's what they are. And the paperwork that I sent to you today about this doctor is nothing but a monster. So,
Wayne, stand by, my friend. You and I have to take a commercial break. When we come back, let's talk about the doctor who is a monster. And once again, Wayne, I don't know how you keep doing it, my friend, but I thank the good Lord that you're there and that you're still fighting for the rights of those who cannot fight for themselves. Wayne Morin's our special guest. If you'd like to give us a call, 1-877-528-8255. That number is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network, Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern, and then the show's repeated in its entirety from 2 a.m. until 6 a.m. I'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break with Wayne Morin. Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine like hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits, and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining room can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you're visiting, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, old Florida cuisine at its best. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Are you interested in the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, or psychic phenomenon? Join me, Tim Bartley, co-host of Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, coming mid-January 2017 to the XZBN. We will channel spirits live and talk to them, revealing all kinds of amazing information. Spiritual attachments will be found and removed on the show, and so much more. To find out when you can listen to Talking to Spirits with Lightworkers Tim and Justina, visit www.xzbn.net for listeners on both sides of the veil.
Wayne Morin Jr. is our special guest. We're talking about the crimes against humanity at the Napa State Hospital in Napa, California. Now, Wayne, you sent me a court document. I'm just going through it here right now, and I was wondering if you could tell our listeners about this document you sent me.
Well, these documents are pretty. Well, for one thing, I just found out today that they're. Okay, in 2001, he became illegal again as to work in facility.
All right, and when you're saying he, you're talking about Dr. Klein?
Yeah, Dr. David M. Klein, M.D. And but this is the good thing that I'm glad. That's why I was so happy that you called today, because I gave you in that email. I told you you're like an angel. You hear me when you need me, because he basically, He got his license back in 2001, but he was working at Napa State Hospital before that, and I guess he must have still been on probation when he did the sexual act with Stephanie Rader, which is in my lie detector test, which you also have, where I name him because she had told me, and she had told a few other clients there that you had on your show before, Shane Carlos Arroyo, and she had told both of us that. And since this is a family show, we're not going to mention what he did,
we're not,
but
yeah.
we're gonna bring up that it was a sexual deviation
Yes.
of this monster. What they do behind closed doors when they have someone that's vulnerable, and they feel that no one's going to believe their story, and he's a doctor, and that's the end of the story. One of the things that I've also found out that this Dr. Klein, basically around that time, there was a couple other complaints being made by other females there at the hospital. Now, I don't know how close they pertain to him, but around that time when Stephanie was on that unit, T16, was when Shane was over there, basically the rules had changed, basically, that women could no longer be in a doctor's office without a female being in there, or the door being open and the female being outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you figure when you look at this one file that I sent you, and through all the years that I've been telling you about things similar or close enough or even worse that I've experienced, and you see this file that was been brought down by the medical board of California, and he had gotten wrote up to where he has 4 or 5 other people in private practice that are making these charges, where he basically got his license taken from him until 2001. And this goes back to 1981, I believe, if we go back to these charges, where he'd been doing this in private practices. And the only thing I could say to anybody that is listening to the X Zone, if anyone wants to get this file, this document, they can either contact myself, or you might even be able to email Rob, or any law enforcement agency can email Rob, and I'm sure he'll be glad to give it. I'll be glad to give it to you with my lie detector test also.
Sure.
We're definitely trying to find Stephanie Rader. From what I've talked to David Feldman, and David Feldman is a high-powered attorney who's been on your show once before,
has, yeah.
with Felicia McCarthy, who
mm-hmm.
has a wrongful death. I mean, people are probably listening out there. What kind of tortures has this man been through? He's naming paperwork with Rob. He's naming all these other. Rob is saying drugs and murders and sexual assaults. Yeah, well, that's what goes on in a lot of these state facilities. I'm not saying every single one, but I'm saying the majority of ones in the United States and Canada are the same. I've been hearing a lot about Canada lately also. And there was just recently 2 more sexual assaults, but these were from clients that basically in the recent, I will email you those through the newspaper articles that basically on attempt on a staff. And there was a client that was basically just about murdered about a week and a half ago by another client. And there was also an assault where a client broke a female staff member's teeth, her front teeth here at Napa. So, the Department of Justice, it goes in there now, which I worked so hard to put together with the monitors in the courts since I've been in there to getting out. It just seems that it's just spiraling. It's just spiraling, and a lot of the clients that are ready to get out, the place is so in turmoil now. Rob, there's really not much they can do but try to function in a place where it is getting more and more violent. And it's not only because the drugs are still there. It's because the sexual assaults are still going, because it's still the trade for sex with staff, and these things are they haven't really changed, Rob. They haven't. I mean, they went away for a while because there was so much heat that we put on them, and then basically now it's just about back up to par. I mean, if you get where a client is just about sexually assaulted a staff member just recently, and you have this doctor that we're talking about. Let me get off the subject, but this doctor, David M. Klein, is working on the outside of the fence. How he got, about a month and a half ago, when I had Dwayne on your show with you, and you were gifted to basically have Dwayne on, a client that is from Napa State Hospital on your show. He was supposed to talk about these things with you, but he was probably so, medicated that night. They medicate him so much when they know something's going to happen. They medicate him, so he wasn't very loud but he did his best. He's a real soldier in there.
He's a trooper.
Yeah, trooper, and he works all the time with either David Feldman or any type of law enforcement agency that will listen to his story and try to make it better for the clients. He's even had the Peace Award of the hospital, where all the clients gave him an award for being the peace bringer to the hospital.
Wow.
Peacemaker. Yeah, and that's something that you would really treasure in a place like this. Is so full of violence and so full of drugs and just chaos.
Right.
But what we're talking about tonight is, since I can't get into detail about how this, because the things are really not supposed to be on your show in the first place, and I've made mistakes where I've got too emotional in the past. But if you could ask me some questions about anything you feel of any of the things that you've seen when that you're looking through, Rob, because this, I mean, we just recently, what had happened about a week and a half ago, he was, about 3 weeks ago, he was on the unit, and some client had brought him this document, the document that you're looking at, had gave it to a staff member while he was on the unit working inside the fence. And that means inside the state hospital, the compound where I was, inside. And they'd handed him this document and one of my lie detector tests, the one that you have there also. They put those two packets together, and they handed it to a staff member. And the staff member looked it over, and the first thing he did is he called hospital police. And after that, I think there was somebody that wanted to either hurt another client, or there was something that happened, and he was escorted off the unit, and now he's been working outside the hospital. And where more lower functioning, I mean real low functioning clients that are able to go to the state hospital, but be a type of person that can go into the hospital and go to the grounds and go home for weekend passes and stuff off the grounds through conservatorship and that type of LPS standard. And he's working with those patients now. So, what I'm trying to figure out is what we need to do is get some kind of law enforcement, some kind of private detective out there that hears this tonight and that is willing to put this to rest and help me find Stephanie Rader, who's in San Jose, and I can give you all the contact information with David Feldman, and he's probably one of the most well-renowned and respected wrongful deaths for people that are inside state facilities and families, and he's just backed up right now. If we can find Stephanie, we can get this doctor here in the court, and all the extensions he's given through years and years and years, Rob. I mean, giving people life sentences. This doctor probably gives 700 extension. What an extension is means he recommends that the person stay for another year, the client stay for another year, and they do this all the time. They take airplanes from here to San Diego, from San Diego to Oregon, from Oregon to Sacramento, and they take turns picking these clients in different facilities where they've moved to and things, and continuously extend them. These people have too much power, and we have this one. We need to put him in a position where we show that people can work together and get this guy out of the hospital and get him into a place where he himself is being treated and put away for a long time, hopefully, because the only thing that David Feldman said that we can do is Stephanie won't be able to get any money for any of this that she's been through, but she will be able to bring these charges up, and they will drop the bomb on him because she's done this before, and they'll throw it away probably. So if we can find some investigator, some private investigator that can do a background check, we have most of the information, but since, she's in a program like I'm in, it's confidentiality really comes to a point where when you're asking a mental health program or when you're asking a board and care home, they're not going to tell you. So what we need to do is we need to go through the newspapers that she's been here in San Jose, and we need to just track her name down, and we can find her. And once we find her, since she told me this information while we were in the facility, she will give this guy up in a minute now.
All right, stand by, Wayne. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Wayne Morin Jr. is our special guest. Our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. My name's Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone, and you're listening to us live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network. Don't go away. We'll be back right after the news.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Wayne Morin Jr. is our very special guest to this hour on the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and you're listening to us on the Talkstar Radio Network. If you'd like to give us a call and ask Wayne a question pertaining to the crimes against humanity at the Napa State Hospital, 1-877-528-8255, and that is toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Wayne, you and I have talked. We have had other witnesses on. We have had other patients on. We've talked about murders. We've talked about the trafficking of narcotics, the selling of alcohol, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, and still nothing. What will it take before something is done?
I don't know, Rob, but you know when I'm seeing that my goodness, you know, I don't know, Rob. You know, I'm going to shoot you those emails, those news articles. I'm going to send those over to you right after we talk, and I'm going to let you read those. I mean, just how unsafe and how just chaos is there. And, you know, Rob, my TV show, when I had my TV show, I was praying and I was hoping that this would be an open forum dialogue with a client that just got out of the state hospital and was being able to do that with a mental health program, saying, hey, Wayne, we like your show. We're for you doing this. Go out there, tell the world what you experienced, and try to make a good thing of it. And my ConRep was helping me do this, or let me do this. The people in mental health were for me doing this. And I thought that would be a way for the staff and for the people in there that were for so long silent about what was going on to be able to make a change in this hospital with the Department of Justice coming in and the monitors changing and a whole new program in 5 different hospitals that started when we put this stuff together. And I mean, it might be that it's way too early to even start seeing any of the first steps being taken. But what a loss that was, because I had my TV show, and you know how many different family members I had on it, and any family member would have loved for any staff member or doctor. Now, I know I had some mama hens on there that were old school, that basically really didn't care too much for anything that was going on in the hospital. But, you know, we could have had all sorts of open forum dialogue people. We could have had staff members more like Lucky. We could have had staff members that were in the dark, that were basically seeing this as an opening because other staff members came on and be able to make a dialogue to where they could better things for not only staff but make place more safe. And you know, as you know, and as your listeners know, when I was doing this stuff, there had been no real change from anybody inside there that wanted to come in to be part of that. There was a few staff members, Tom Knobloch, I'll definitely give my hats off to him, and Jeannie, that was a very good person that worked with Lucky Meyer, that was very honest and forthcoming about things going on with her. And, you know, besides those 3 or 4 people that basically really was no real change in there. Matter of fact, listen to this, Rob. The paperwork you have in front of you basically is saying that what I had said in my lie detector test was true. What that paperwork, when I had my TV show, Dr. Ed Falk, the new medical director of the state hospital, before my TV show come on, he put a disclaimer on saying that every single thing that I said on my show had been investigated and found to be not true by insulary investigators. I don't know. I posted it on Google. It's on Google. Whatever he said before my TV show. So what he was doing is calling me a liar and basically telling all the people in my shows that everything had been investigated. Now, you know, how I mean, any big group like Scientology or Citizen Commission Human Rights or any human group, I mean, any type of group that was there to make people feel safe, would have came and jumped on my aid and said, you know, that's a damn lie. That's all lie. That's all lie. That's all lie. 99% of the things you could find out they're true if you just go in there and you ask the people, and they'll tell you that's true. But you know, what does he do? He comes on there and puts this big disclaimer on. My show has been proven to be, anything that I said is just proven to be my opinion and has been investigated and has been found out to be not true. How could he do that? And the paperwork that I have in front of you proves that the things that I said in the lie detector test and the things that I said. Now, I went in front. Remember, I told you I had to go after we did the whole thing with Governor Schwarzenegger, and we went through all those routes, and you had me on, and we were so happy that we was going to be able to talk to the people in the governor's office. After we did all that, we finally went into the hospital, and we got to do this interview with the hospital police, Mr. Guterman and Douglas Guterman and the hospital investigators, and we did 2 hours worth of taping. I named Dr. Klein in that piece, and I still have the tape, the audio cassette. So if anybody wants that audio cassette or any of the things I did with the Department of Justice, I'll be glad to give that to them too. Just email me, and I will put that out in the mail to you. Or any of the other talk shows or any of the videos that I've done on Let's Talk Napa State Hospital. I'm willing to give those away. So. Anyway, it's just I'm going to have to change phones because are you there?
I'm still here, Wayne.
Are you there?
Whoops! Did we lose Wayne? Oh, there you are. There you are. You're still there, Wayne.
Hello?
Yeah, you're still there, buddy.
I just want one of my phone's battery started to die. Anyway, to make a long story short, I have all those things that I'll be willing to give to anybody. I have 46 TV shows. I have at least more than 29 radio shows that I've done with you. And we go back years. And if anybody would just take this stuff and basically jump on board by passing this literature out and giving people out there a knowledge that this stuff really happens and there's really nothing anybody's doing about it. The Department of Justice. How many times have you and I sent them our information, and after we sent them the information, every time your show goes on, you send it out to all law enforcement agencies and the Department of Justice of Canada. And they know this stuff is 100% accurate, but they're not going in there and doing anything. They're not, And I just can't understand for the likes of me how they can play that kind of card.
Wayne, has all the work that you've done, has it changed the lives of the patients? Has it made it better, or has it made it worse?
Well, what I'm going to do for you, Rob, I'm going to send this out to you all the way to Canada. I have more than 700, I believe it's 450 signatures, and there's only 1,000, I think, in 26 clients there. And a lot of the clients couldn't be reached because they're on locked facility units, but the majority of all the clients there at the hospital wrote me a beautiful letter, and they all signed it. And the thing that really touched my heart, Rob, was that when I seen the clients that when I was out there, that the clients that I remembered their signatures for all the years of me being out there and seeing their signatures on that, and people that are still there, it just really touched my heart. It really made me feel as a sense of really working at what I'm doing, and at the same time also made me think, this is something someone that's a human being would do, This is something they would do, And I can't see how people in the surrounding valley here in Napa could understand that those people aren't even from our area. I mean, most of the clients don't even live here in Napa. They're from, Chicago, Cincinnati. How they can keep people away from their families and not want this place to be a place where it would be safe and sound and people get home someday if they deserve to go home. They're just like numb. They're just like bitten by wasps or calloused, that they have no feelings towards anybody. And they know it goes on in there because they don't even want to say anything about the hospital. When they see a staff member or when they see someone carrying a badge that says Napa State, they just walk by like they haven't even noticed them. And that's what everyone around here does, It's just like they're aliens or something, It's so sad, It's so. That's why I lost a lot of energy for a while. I really took a lot out of me getting calls late at night. We have to find this Stephanie Rader. We have to find Stephanie, and we have to, put this paperwork and these things that these clients have been giving us for these years to a place where it can be listened to. Because the patients' rights advocate inside the facility. Even though Mike Hansen does do a lot, he's overworked, and he's only been there for 2 years, and he's already starting to drain out. They drain clients out quick. The staff gets in there and they work games on them to where they get manipulated any which way about it, and there's nothing they can do anymore. It's a snake pit, just like the movie. Anybody out there seen the movie The Snake Pit? It's the same exact thing in there. It's the same thing, and it's such a sad thing, And there's real sexual assaults that go on there daily in the bathrooms. There's everyday drugs being traded, street drugs too, from staff for sexual favors, and there's consistent abuses and strong arms and sexual assaults on weaker clients every day, and not one of them, Rob, gets brought down to a jail and questioned by the district attorney or by any law enforcement agency. But when it comes to staff getting assaulted or punched, that person's going to be leaving the hospital. I'm just thankful for that part happens, because that's one less monster that's out there. But the staff is being a monster too by not taking any of the assaults that's happening to the client.
Wayne, I'm having a very hard time hearing you, my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, is this better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just saying that there's a very the understanding of the clients that get assaulted. When they get assaulted, they never get anyone to take them down to the district attorney's office or for any investigator to come out to see them, so they can press charges. But when a staff member gets beat or spit on or anything, the first thing that person ends up is in jail and sent out of the hospital, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that's not a good thing, but they need to start doing that for clients too. And I think if they started doing that with clients, the clients would start to be more having a trust to them. That place is so alienated, and it's so, so sidesy, and it's sort of just like a soap opera that you watch as the world turns, or the days of our lives.
Mm-hmm. But that's reality over there.
Yeah, none at all. And if you look at this assault this doctor was doing, I mean, the type of things, suffocations, regressive therapy, making the client wear a diaper, or using rope to tie around the client's waist and suffocating the client, choking the client out, putting his body on the patient's body, bare skin. And there's so many things I can't say due to the show, but I mean, it is just having a monster like that inside a hospital and not putting him away when you know you have evidence. Come on, people.
It seems that there's two laws: the laws for the people on the outside of a state institution, and then the law for the people on the inside. And it seems that from what I have seen, what I've heard firsthand, the people on the outside, the people on the inside have nothing to worry about. They can do what they want, and they go unpunished. Immune.
Like I've said hundreds of times, they're immune. I mean, they have some kind, just like when you see in those prison movies, like with Stallone or something. Mm-hmm. When the prison guard wants to get Stallone bad, he's going to break him anyway, no matter what, no matter who comes in or what other law enforcement agency comes in. There's nothing he can do, and it's that coming to life. That's what those places are, and it shouldn't be like that. Even groups like Scientology and Citizen Commission Human Rights, as much as they try, even though a lot of it's, for their own purpose, but as much as they try, they still haven't got enough power to crack into those places,
Yeah.
And they're the ones that get the big criminals, the big monsters out. I don't see why they're not jumping all over this. With all the TV shows that I've done, with all the radio that I've done, for all the help that I've been to families all over the world, I mean, I figured they would at least want to get this one doctor here who's been in there giving extensions and continuously doing these things. And if the paperwork you have in front of you, Rob, if he's done it then, he's still doing it, or he's continuously doing it now. A monster like that doesn't change.
Wayne, stand by, buddy. You and I have to take our final break. And this story just keeps on going, and why there hasn't been an arrest, why people have not been brought to justice, it really escapes me. And we've got a group of private investigators, Wayne, that we're going to give the information to, and hopefully they'll be able to find this person and get this guy brought to justice. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, and you're listening to us live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
18 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check. Officers on the scene.
Hi, I'm Larry Lawson, host of Paranormal Stakeout. With over 36 years in law enforcement, I have learned a few things. The most important is the proper gathering and preservation of evidence is vital to putting the bad guy behind bars. It's no different in the world of paranormal investigation. Whether it's the search for the afterlife, cryptozoology, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, how we gather the evidence, preserve that evidence, and present it to a jury of our peers will make the ultimate difference in proving the existence of worlds and entities that are beyond our imagination. Join me, Larry Lawson, every week on Paranormal Stakeout when, along with my guests, we'll take a journey to prove with indisputable evidence what man has struggled to believe for centuries. Go to xzbn.net for the broadcast schedule and check me out at paranormalstakeout.com.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity of thanking all our guests tonight. Joe Buller joined me in the first hour to discuss the mystery of the Coral Castle in Florida. And during that segment, we made some astonishing comparisons, and there were a number of similarities between the Great Lakes Triangle of North America and the Bermuda Triangle, and the common denominator was Ed, the man who built the Coral Castle. So Joe and I are going to be investigating the Canadian-U.S. connection when it comes to the Coral Castle in Florida. Second hour, Brian David Anderson joined us talking about the effect that the moon plays on earthquakes and volcanoes. Chief Roy S. Jones Jr. joined me in the third hour to discuss the Canadian seal hunt, and Wayne Morin from Napa, California, who is the whistleblower and gets all the accolades when it comes to bringing the atrocities and the crimes against humanity to the forefront that are occurring at the Napa State Hospital. Now, Wayne, I would like you to do something for me. I would like you to send me an email telling me why you need the person that you are looking for found. Give me as much information as you can. There is an investigation agency in California who has contacted me, and they will look for her.
Oh, I will do that, Rob. I will get it right on that. I'll have that done to you before the end of the week.
You do that, my friend, and we'll do everything we can to find her.
God bless everyone out there. Thank you so much, X-Zone. Thank you.
Wayne, you're one heck of a guy. You've been fighting so long for this, my friend. There's no way that we can just let it go, because there are so many people, not only in California, but throughout the United States. And as we've said, if it's happening in one, it's happening in other places, which would mean Canada as well. The people who are entrusted to members of society to take care of them, they need to have their rights protected. They need to be protected. They're not in these places for the amusement of the staff. They are supposed to be treated with dignity. Where did we lose the moral values that we once used to have? Wayne, thanks very much for joining us. Please give my very best to all our friends in Napa, and do me a favor. Keep up the good work. Never let that light go, my friend. All right, Wayne, thanks for joining us, buddy boy. Well, that's it for tonight, everyone. Another 4 hours here on the X-Zone. 4 great hours. We've had some interesting insights, and if you'd like more information on the sealing industry, there's a number of websites. You just have to go into Google or any other search engine and put Canadian Seal Hunt, and a number of seal sites will come up. It's not as bad as people are making it out. You know, if you look at a cow, if you look at a pig, if you look at a mink, if you look at a rabbit, if you look at a chicken, these are all part of survival. Now, you heard the chief say that a number of Aboriginal communities have started to suffer because of the attention that the seal hunt is taking away. And let's just live and let live, and let's research, and let's make sure we know what we're talking about before we go half-cocked and say, oh, that cute little seal pup. I'm against animal cruelty. I always have been, and I always will be. So until tomorrow night, X-Zone Nation, when once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone, always keep your eyes to the sky.